G'day everyone and welcome to my coverage of the Australian Model Railway Association Victoria Branch's 51st Annual Model Train Show, which is held over the 5th and 6th of August at the Town Square Pavilion at the Melbourne Showgrounds. In this video, we'll take a look at some of the layouts that were on show at this wonderful exhibition, as well as the traders that were in attendance. And of course, there was also a special appearance by Steamrail Victoria, who on the Sunday of the event ran a vintage Tait train, a fitting way to get to a model railway exhibition.
Beauty.
Anyway, let's take a look at some of the layouts, starting with the North Shore Railway Modelers Association layout, the Blue Mountains, that had come all the way from Sydney. The layout is based on the final years of steam operation and the start of diesel running on the steep Blue Mountains line west of Sydney from about 1950 to 1956. This was one of the most extraordinary railway operations possibly anywhere due to frequent train operations, steep grade, double heading of most westbound trains, delays while goods trains were stopped to set and release brakes, and while goods trains ran slowly, passenger trains operated smartly on steep grades. This layout is fully DCC operated, including Wi-Fi enabled operation from smartphones via a Raspberry Pi. All points are DCC enabled, such that route selection via DCC macros is incorporated. Members' trains cover a range of passenger services, such as the Central West Express with a rake of hub cars, or the Caves Express with a rake of end platform cars. Goods services will cover local mixed freight, wool, wheat trains to Sydney, and returning empty. This is the third time I've covered this layout this year, and it's forever changing as it is still a work in progress, and it was fantastic to see that they made the journey all the way from Sydney to Melbourne for this exhibition.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. What we want to do is get it out there that, you know, the possibility of carriage builders, carpenters, workshops. I mean, the area this is modern is, yeah, a whole nother thing. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good to see you, man. why I go by my middle name on Facebook. Yeah, fair enough. There's still a lot of videos of colours. Oh, that's what I'm getting mixed up with. Sorry, dude, I'm getting you. I won't cross the wires there. You're still the beanies, that's right. Yeah, that's how that's a trans. That's not that level alone. Yep. Ah, good, good. There we go. So that's why I go by my middle name on Facebook. Yeah, fair enough. There's still a lot of videos of colours. Oh, that's what I'm getting mixed up with. Sorry, dude, I'm getting you. I won't cross the wires there. Yep. Yeah, of course. They're a share, and as you know, various yes. Yeah. Well enough. Yes, it's been a lot leading up to this. Now here it's all about cars. Oh. Right, right. It's pretty, yeah. But otherwise we can see yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Certainly. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's not a problem. Basically, trying to retain these. I'm just going to cut out.
One of my favourite layouts on the exhibition circuit is HO scale layout Cheakamus Canyon. Cheakamus Canyon is a real place and is located milepost 56 on the British Columbia Railway, Squamish Division near Garibaldi. In the province, which is another word for state, British Columbia, in Canada. The 4 bridges that are represented in this beautiful layout are reproductions of the actual ones on site and are kit bashed with scratch-built components. The scenery has been built up using Braden latex moulds and plaster on a foam base. Trees are by Model Scene, and they used a lot of AK and Vallejo products for the scenery. This layout is a collaborative effort of David Strandon, Roger Cole, Scott Fitzgerald, and Ross Pearson. Trains featured on this layout cover the period from the 1970s to 2004, and the layout was featured in the December 2021 edition of Continental Modeler.
Code. I said, oh, goody, I can do that.
I'm just working on my layout at the moment. Yeah. You picked up much this week? Yeah, it's always getting changed, yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, of course, man. We'll see you around. Yeah, I do, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
A layout that has been on the exhibition circuit for some time, but has recently seen quite the refresh from the Sunbury Model Railway Club, was Crosby Stephen. The layout depicts the LMS mainline from Settle to Carlisle in the 1920s to the 1930s, and is a tribute to the builder's skills. Elements of the stations Crosby Garrett and Kirby Stephen have been combined to create the station area, and many buildings on the layout are scratch-built, mostly in card, and conform to those built by the railway, and to those found in the area of northern England. Originally built by Kevin Schultz in the 1980s, this layout has been preserved and is now operated by the Sunbury Model Railway Club.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Cheers. Oh, thank you. Yes, absolutely. It's all good. It's all good. As in, why do I like trains, or? Alright. It's been popular. It's good to see it back, and everyone, yeah, a lot of people still want it, so. Back in the week.
Sunbury had also brought along their layout Gisborne, which I have covered before, and unfortunately at the exhibition I didn't quite get enough footage, but if you are interested in finding out more, you can find out about it here.
Snow train for this weekend, is it?
It's a special going to Bendigo. Handwriting. Oh. That's a great idea. Yeah.
To get people connected from the horse.
O-scale layout Daraby. This end-to-end shunting layout is set in the United Kingdom in the Western region and measures 7.2 metres long, running both steam and diesel. And recently they did add a sixth board to this layout, which was in memory of their friend John Gilmore, who was an operator and transporter of the layout. I think this layout is a fantastic example of what you can achieve with O-scale. Although it does take up a larger footprint, you can add a lot of detail.
Let's start with something.
That's where you start, though.
He's got two pieces of truck and a wagon now.
Oh, I've got a wagon down there. That's...
It's all good. How are you? Good, good.
Change the point on it this time.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Good to see you. We'll see you around.
There's lots, we only just got in, there's lots to see. Lots of money to spend.
Oh, don't remind me.
Kinmont and Winch number 3 in O and 30 scale. This is the new O and 30 scale layout by Dan Pickard and David Price. The cameo style layout provides two different bush settings for various types of narrow gauge trains to traverse. A selection of Victorian Railways narrow gauge prototypical trains and various bush tramway combinations will pass through this remote bush location throughout any given day. Winch number 3 features an example of a typical log landing and some of the practices used to transfer timber from the bush to the sawmill. If you do get a chance to see this layout, it is a true work of art and was easily one of my favourites at the exhibition.
An audio too.
The Australian Japanese Model Railway Group, who is a group who seeks to capture and display the essence of Japanese railways with their N-gauge modular railway layouts. They participate at various model railway exhibitions and Japanese festivals in Victoria throughout the year. These amazing layouts contain faithfully reproduced and highly detailed Japanese dioramas. On the layout you can see a variety of trains, from the bullet trains to inner city expresses, interurbans, goods, steam, diesel, electric and private railways, even trams. They timetable a variety of trains to run throughout every exhibition. Gunning in N scale. Gunning is located 244 kilometres south of Sydney between Goulburn and Yass Junction on the main south line. The layout is a replication of the gunning station and its yard in N scale. Included is the station master's residence, goods shed, old rail bridge that crosses Fish River, with pumping station used for filling the water tower where the steam locomotives would take on water for their journey north or south. Junee Roundhouse is represented on the Fish River side of the layout. And the other corner module has the Monte Cristo homestead, where if you look closely at the model you can see past residents in the form of ghouls and ghosts.
Good, thank you, mate. How are you? That is a very good question. I don't know. Oh, I'm sure it'll be a success. Yes, a bit of work on it so far, so it's probably half right. Yeah, good. Oh, I'm excited to go to it. Fair enough. Yeah, you don't get a choice. Ah, very good. Very good. What, 80 class catching fire? 80? Yeah. Thank you. It's all the way back now. I'm like, I can't put $9.80 worth of fuel in my car and get around the block. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. We've done one? Hmm. Yeah. Oh, right.
Right, so what's the message? Oh, okay. How's this going to impact your taxes? Is this a lot of taxes?
Yeah. Oh. What's it?
Apple Cove is a 1 in 48 scale freelance layout. The Owen30 track represents 30-inch wide narrow gauge rails used by many small railways during the first half of the 1900s. The layout is inspired by the life and times of Julius Appleby and his journey from Northern California to the small coastal hamlet in southeastern Tasmania. The layout incorporates a small township, a cider vinegar factory, growers' co-op, waterfront scenes and a decaying mansion. The Pico O-scale narrow gauge track on the layout has the same width as HO or double O-scale track, but uses the larger 1 in 48 scale sleepers. And the locomotives and rolling stock are mainly from Bachmann's Owen30 range. The detail in this layout is fantastic, and one that I highly encourage people to see if they know it's going to be at an exhibition. A layout that made its exhibition debut was Ffarquhar. Ffarquhar Station sits at the terminus of the Ffarquhar branch line and is one of many lines on the North Western Railway on the island of Sodor. Passenger services are generally run with a push-pull concept, headed by a famous blue engine, while his green sidekick hauls the freight. As you might have guessed, this is Thomas's branch line and is modelled after the Reverend Audrey's exhibition layout. Although these locomotives don't have any faces, they are realistically represented cast of the Ffarquhar branch and tramway, and other characters from the Railway series books. The pitch for this layout is old school charm. The engines are old and noisy, and the points and signals are powered by coat hangers. And this is run on DC with block control, and it's built for nostalgia of every kind.
I think that's well deserved.
And only another 7 hours tomorrow.
Now, a name that I'm not even going to try and pronounce, but all I know is it does translate to Two Bridge Valley Railway from the European Model Railway Association. The layout comprises of several modules built to a specific standard, adapted from the European Fremo standards. This allows the club to swap scenic modules to suit the prototype, operations, and variety of club members' interests. During the exhibition, you can see a river crossing that has been upgraded from its original single-track operation to a classic double-track mainline, and is located near a small fictitious rural station somewhere in Western Europe. The trains on the layout are from the 1950s all the way until today, mainly from Germany, Switzerland, Austria, France and Italy, and the overhead catenary has been prototypically installed but is not powered. The layout can be supported by either DC or DCC operations, or even a combination. Tillig Elite points and Tortoise slow action point motors are utilised in scenic areas, along with interlocking Weissman colour signals to support prototypical train operations, controlled by a DCC command station. The bridges and buildings are readily available plastic kits that have been lightly weathered to improve their appearance. Scenery is generally built up with a polystyrene base, scenic scatter materials and plaster rock castings used to create the Western European theme. The trees are either handmade or commercially purchased. Majority of the rolling stock is from well-known manufacturers like Rocco, Acme, LS Models, Remodels, Bawa, Rivarossi and Fleischmann. The Flyerville and Mystic Railroad in S-scale. American Flyer trains were first manufactured by the American Flyer Manufacturing Co. in Chicago, Illinois. The company manufactured clockwork trains and later a wide range of O-gauge electric trains. In the 1930s, the American Flyer line was bought by the A.C. Gilbert Co. of New Haven, Connecticut. This layout pays homage to the many factory display layouts that the AC Gilbert Co. provided to its dealers during the 1950s. It has 2 loops of track with sidings for operating accessories, as well as the operating trolley line.
Do it again.
There are videos of television shows and advertising highlights of what Gilbert produced in the 1950s, and the clever technology, for its day, used AF trains. The display includes track engines, rolling stock, catalogues and other printed material associated with these wonderful trains. AMRA Victoria had their garden railway group there. The layout is G-scale, which is designed primarily for use in the garden. And it represents an American museum railway. The rolling stock comes from a number of different periods from the 1890s through to the 1960s. Locomotives include the unusual camelback steam locomotives through to more modern diesels. AMRA Victoria's large HO-scale exhibition layout Maryborough was also in attendance. This display was constructed by members of AMRA Victoria, and it shows the station and surrounds as it was from post-World War II until 1962, when the water tank was removed. The main feature of this display is to model the scale and magnificence of the station building, which opened in 1891. Maryborough was the junction of 4 lines, to Ballarat to Denali and Mildura, and also Avoca and Ararat, as well as Castlemaine. This impressive layout has been built as accurately as possible, although there has been some compressions at both ends to save space. All the buildings are scratch built from plans, by measuring the prototype or scaling from photos. The backdrop was compiled from a series of photographs of the actual homes, then put together using Photoshop, with modern features removed where possible in an attempt to backdate the appearance to the 1960s. Newport Railway Workshops.
Yeah.
The Melbourne L-Gauge Train Club has begun a project started by the Lego Group of the Newport Railway Workshops. This is a smaller version of the final project, which will total 320,000 bricks and will be shown at Brickvention in 2024. And frankly, I can't wait to see what this is going to look like when it's finished. Now I must make an apology, as there were actually many other layouts in attendance. However, I simply ran out of time, as this was the first time that I ever had a trade stand at an exhibition, and unfortunately I just did not get enough time to get around to all of the layouts. For that I do have to make an apology, but I do know where I went wrong and hopefully I will rectify that in the future.
Jeez. I've also still had a crash. I mean, no, it didn't. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it failed. We're in this hobby. We should have plenty of buttons.
Now on that, there were also quite a number of manufacturers and retailers, like Argyle Loco Works, Ausscene Models, Precision Models, Australian Aviation and Railway Photography, Barry's Boxes, the Bellarine Railway, Buck and Bull Model Trains, Kazula Hobbies, DCC Sound, the Diamond Valley Railway were there with some of their wonderful ride-on trains. Euro Hobby Trains, IDR Models, Ixon and Gopher Models, Matt's Ballast, Metro Hobbies, On Track Models, Orient Express Model Railway Shop, Palace Hobbies, Hall's 3D Prints, Rail Projects Victoria and Metro Trains, SDS Models, Sonic Miniature Tools, Steam Era Models, the Train Girl, Train World, the Victorian Goldfields Railway, and the Victorian Model Railway Society. And of course on the Sunday, Steamrail Victoria were there, who were running shuttles from Flinders Street Station to the exhibition, and it was something that really made the exhibition something a little bit extra special. So I hope you've all enjoyed taking a quick look at the 51st Annual Model Train Show, presented by the Australian Model Railway Association Victorian Branch. And if you do want to find out more about AMRA Victoria, and of course any upcoming exhibitions, I'll leave all the appropriate details in the description below. And of course, don't forget to be subscribed, so you can keep up to date with all the videos that I have coming out soon. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you then. Hooroo!
Uh,